Hi, today I thought we'd have a look at the Joyetech emode e-cigarette. Let's have a quick look at what it can do. Okay, let's go to the bench and have a look. Okay, so this is the Joyetech emode electronic cigarette, also known by the Electron S from TW, that is totally wicked. Basically it's a variable voltage and variable wattage device. Now I'll try and take you in on this, but unfortunately my camera's not very good. You can see there you've got the VV, VW, and then you've got the RVV lower down and the RWW. Sorry, RVW. Now basically they are the two bottom ones, the RVV and the RVW are programmable, so you can use their software that comes with the device to allow you to put in, you know, how much washes you want over a period in seconds. I'll show you around the device as well. And you've got this ring here. This is a 360-degree ring, so it can go all the way around like that. And then you can see you've got these markings on the side, which are probably a bit difficult to see, unfortunately. It says 3.3 volts at 4.5 watts, and then you can go along. You've got different markings in between, then you go like 3.8 at 6.5. There, you can go all the way up to, where are we? 4.8 at 9.7 watts. It does go, if you go one more nodule, I think it goes up to 11 watts at that power range. You've got your button here. Basically, if you want to turn it on, 5 presses, same as the Ego system. Then you see the light then illuminates to see what you're in. So I'm currently in variable wattage mode. You can then turn it off again, 5 presses. If you then want to go between the modes, you press and hold when it's off, you wait, switches to the next mode, to that mode, and it'll do another 2 cycles those lights for the 3 different modes, back again, and then you can get back where you started again. Okay, so let's have a look at the device in its parts. This is the battery housing. Take the bottom part off, and then get at the battery. There's the battery. Now I'm not quite sure what the different numbers are for the battery, but it's basically a 21 milliamp hour battery, and then that goes into this case here. It's all made of stainless steel. The version I've got is black. It's got a little ring at the top there that stops the battery from falling out when you've got it in there. And then, say the bottom part again, it's got a vent hole at the bottom there, just in case of any problems with the battery and that it needs to vent gases or anything. Now the threads on this are supposed to be quite good, but they are a little bit tricky. It's best to always turn them back slightly first, then fully turn. They're right hand threads. And then that puts the bottom on the battery again. Let's have a look at the device here. So if we take this part off here, this is the control head. It's so it has the different modes. It also has a little rubber bung here, which is for the USB port, so you can plug it into the computer to use with the MVR software, which is My Vapor Record. You get 2 spare little USB bungs in the package with the kit, because quite a few people have said that they've sort of, you know, pulled them off and they've lost them. I think probably it's more a case of, you know, just be careful basically. Then you've got your tip here, it just pulls off. and you can undo the top part, and then basically you see you've got these two holes each side, and that's where you put your liquid. You can obviously choose whichever hole you want it, but don't put it in the middle because that ain't going to work. And then you can put the top back on. And the other side, you've got obviously a connection that goes into the top of the control head, and then that's where the atomizer is. So we can take this off. I have actually got liquid in there at the moment. It's meant full. Seems to be the only one that's working with me. I've tried a strawberry one, but something just seemed to really irritate the back of the throat, so I'm sticking with the menthol for the minute. And we can take that off. It's got stuck. I'll explain this logic in a minute. Right. So there is the atomizer. It's a C2 atomizer. So you can buy replacements, obviously. Now what it has is a bayonet fitting, and a lot of people said this doesn't seem logical, and I must admit I did say that at first, because when you put it in here, it doesn't screw in like a normal, it screws in backwards like a left hand turn. But then when you put it into the sort of tank itself, then of course you're screwing in with normal right hand turn. So of course the thing's going to come loose, which it does. Some people have said, well, you know, do it in a certain bit, then loosen it slightly just to get it to catch, but you don't need that. The reason they've done it is basically so that when you unscrew this bit, and when you want to change the atomizer, you unscrew it and put it off, and then it pulls the atomizer out with it, you see? Because it's basically, because it's sort of, the bayonet fitting goes on the left hand side and this goes on the right hand side, then it catches and pulls it off. So anyway, screw that back on. And then, like I say, that will go onto the control head, onto the battery. So the battery I find is the most difficult part. I mean, generally it charges through USB, so unless you're going to change batteries, you shouldn't need to have to take this off. I would say give it a few turns backwards. Forwards. If you see it gripping like this, it's gripped slightly too tight. Go backwards a bit. Just try and get it, because you don't want to obviously cross thread it. So it is a little bit tricky, but you kind of get the hang of it. It's not too difficult once you've worked it out. Obviously they the two models come in black and stainless steel, sort of shiny silver. So they're both made of stainless steel. They are fingerprint magnets, but yeah, if you're happy with that, that's fine. And then put your tip back in the bottom of it. So it does come with the MVR software, which allows you to view what the rating of the ohms of the atomizer is. Generally it's a 2.4 ohm that comes with it, and what the spares are. It allows you to see at what different levels you are vaping at. I've only been vaping for a week. This was kind of my first device. I did buy the Tornado V3 from Totally Wicked as my initial device while I waited this one for it to come on order. Have kind of got addicted to this one. I think I'm kind of a techie guy, and I like seeing, you know, my data on the different vaping habits and styles that I have during the day. So that's why I bought this one. Brilliant device, very good. The only complaint I would say is that the LEDs, turn it on, currently RVW, so we need to change that one. So we turn it off, and then we'll cycle through. You won't be able to see us on camera, but basically looking for the brightness of the LEDs. Now you probably won't be able to see that, but I have found that the one I'm set on, which is the variable wattage, get that back on again, is very slightly dimmer than the other ones. It wasn't when I first brought it, it seems to have gone down in dimness, and I've only had it a week, so that's not too good. But if it stays at the level it's at, then that's fine. At least I can see it, I can see what's going on. But that would be the only sort of point I would sort of make initially about the device. Battery life, very good. I'm coming obviously from using, I suppose, about 20-25 roll-ups a day onto this. I do tend to vape it quite a lot. I'm currently using TW Totally Wicked's liquid menthol red label at 1.8, so that's 18 milligrams. I have ordered some at 30 milligrams to see if that helps, as the advice from the forum seems to be that if you're vaping it quite a lot, then you need to obviously look at upping the nicotine amount. Now, I shan't make any claims whatsoever that this is a device to help you quit smoking. Don't want to get myself messed up in the law on that one, but basically all I would say is if you are smoking and you are looking to try and quit, then it's certainly something that's worth using and having a go. Obviously maybe start with the something like the Tornado V3 from Totally Wicked. It's a lower price kit, because this does retail at £100 for this device. Whereas the other one, I mean the Tornado V3, I got that from a local shop, and that was at £24.99, £25 for that device, which is fine, but it's obviously not variable voltage or variable wattage or anything, so it depends what you what you want. I probably would say I wouldn't necessarily recommend trying the disposable ones. I have had a go with them, and yeah, they kind of work. They kind of, you know, supplement normal cigarettes, but they're not really the same. It is a bit of a case of sort of trying different things, finding what you like, what you don't like. So, but like I say, you know, if you want to sort of, you know, look at cutting down on your smoking or switching to something better or different, then, you know, go down these lines. But, you know, I can't make any claims on you know, the success rate for switching, although you know, so far I'm quite pleased with it. But that's up to you guys to obviously try yourself and you know, decide how you find it. So we'll just do a quick test at the different levels to see how it produces on vapor, and that'll be the end of the video, I think. Okay, so we will start back at the beginning, which is 3.3 volts at 4.5 watts. Let's have a blast. And not too bad. We will up it to 3.8 at 6.5. Next step we go to is 4.4 at 8.4 watts. Obviously there are, you know, different steps in between. You basically have to calculate the difference between one step and the other, and you can work out what the ones in the middle are. And then we will ramp it up to 4.8 at 9.7. bit too much for me. And we will go one step further. There we are. Little nodule up there. Yeah, that's the other thing I would say actually, is that they could have made that little marking in black, because with the white on the silver it's a bit difficult to see. So this is going to be at 11 watts. It's kind of too much for me. I tend to find that what I like about this device is that I kind of vary between typically 4.5 watts in the morning at first, and then as the day goes on, then I typically will up it to around 6.5 watts, or sometimes just one notch back, which I find is about right for me. Lovely. So anyway, that is the Joyetech e-mode. I would certainly recommend it. So far I'm very impressed. If you want to buy it, you can obviously get it from Joyetech's website. Also, if you look at Totally Wicked products, it will be classed as the Electron S. I may have classed it as Electron M earlier in the video. If I did it, I apologise. It's the Electron S. The Electron M from TW Totally Wicked is the same as the Joyetech e-cig, which has a display screen on it, so you can see what different things you're doing with it. I will do a video at some point, hopefully within the next week or so, on the MVR, My Vapor Records software, that allows you to track puff counts, different wattages, that sort of thing. Once I've got the screen capture software working, then I will do a video on that. So in the meantime, thank you very much for watching. I hope this has been of some useful info to you. If you need any more advice or any more information, please do leave it in the comments, and I will get back to you as soon as I possibly can. Okay, thanks for watching. Cheers.